Yeah, I'm Nolliettie Chihana Chimala from Malawi. I work with the Malawi Police Service as the Women, Peace and Security Desk Officer. I have been working in the Malawi Police Service for 15 years now, and I have taken up different roles. I have a master's degree in managing peace and security in Africa, a master's degree in diplomacy and international relations, and also a bachelor's degree in um, communication. So I also am a member of FameWise network, a member of women mediators across the Commonwealth, and also a member of our Generation for Inclusive um, Peace and Advocates Network. And in all these networks, I have gained a lot of experience in issues of peace and security in Africa, including mediation. Sure.
Thank you so much. Let's talk a little bit about that. Could you share a little bit about your experience in mediation?
I have mediated over 50 cases in Malawi at different levels because of my work as a police officer. And also, as I said, that I have taken up different roles along the way. So the cases that I have managed to mediate upon family disputes, land disputes, some chieftaincy wrangles, and also issues to do with fishing grounds because I was once working in a lakeshore area and mostly land disputes.
Do you think that as an African mediator, do you think your approach to mediation has been impacted in any way by your particular cultural background?
Yeah, I would say so because as I've said that I have mediated in different cases. I come from a different background from most of the people that I have engaged with during some mediation processes because of maybe the uh, where I've been working. Yeah, so I believe that it is something that uh, affects mediation processes because as a mediator, you also have your own background and things that you believe in. So values and beliefs always come into play when you're mediating. So I would say that it is something that has to be considered.
And that's a great answer because it leads directly into my next thought. So you would say that there is space for mediator to have their own values within the mediation process, um, or is there a more formalized, ideal format of how a mediation process should go?
I would say that much as you have your own values and beliefs, you also have to be very careful because if you like put into play your values and beliefs, sometimes it can affect the mediation process because you may act because like the issue of biasness comes into play. So for me, I usually stick to the format of mediation. Of course, there are sometimes when you're facilitating a mediation process, you can use some of your values just as a guiding tool in the mediation process, but it shouldn't be something that should affect the results fully, as in it shouldn't be something that like you're giving your own opinion. It shouldn't be like an opinion, but just maybe relating to some values that can help in the mediation process.
That makes a lot of sense to have a bit of your own experience, but that is not becoming a bias in the process. I understand that. Um, would you say that you have a preferred approach to mediation? What is your preferred approach to mediation?
I like to take up the facilitative role to mediation because in that way it helps me a lot to stay impartial in the mediation process. I like to take up the facilitative role to help the conflict parties, to reach an agreement. Yeah, than the other approaches of mediation.
And can you give us, maybe share with us an example or a story where you took up that role?
Yeah. I have a case. The case that I last solved when I was stationed somewhere. It was a land dispute. It was two families. One had like the boundary that had trees on it. So the trees, this the trees were the branches were going over a fence to another person's house. So the other family decided to go and cut the branches of the tree off from their fence because they were saying that, and they even suggested that they wanted the other family to cut the trees because the roots were going to their fence. It would break their fence. It would make their fence weak. Yeah, so they came to our station, and I had to help them to um, agree on how best to manage their issue. Yeah, so in that scenario, I had to find out the needs from the owners of the trees to say, okay, what is it really that you would want to happen, because the other side is complaining about their fence. What would be your need in this situation? So they explained their side of the story, and also the other party. I also had to ask them what they really wanted to be assisted with. Yeah, so using a facilitative role, we I was able to help them to reach an agreement. Yeah, to cut the story short.
Thank you. That's such a beautiful example of a land dispute. I was reading an article where you said that you joined the Malawi Police Service when you were just 18 years old, and that it was actually your mom that inspired you to do that. I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about that journey that you went on, and how you got involved in mediation, being in the police service.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, my mom inspired me. She's a teacher. She's a deputy head teacher at a secondary school. So she's taken up administrative roles for a very long time, and she's the one who, in the long run, after I had joined the Malawi Police Service, who also inspired me to become a mediator because she's been handling different cases between parents and children, and also between teachers, her fellow teachers, and the students. So I would say that I was quite inspired by that, and also um, along the way, I developed the passion because of the different situations that I would come across in the service. Yeah, basically that that is what I would say.
That's so special to hear how your mom impacted your life that way, and inspired you. What do you think about the role of women in mediation, particularly in your experience being a woman mediator?
Um, I would say that being a woman, we face a lot of our own challenges at personal level, and being a police officer, as I said, that I've encountered different situations. I believe that women can have a very great role to play when it comes to peace and security. at different levels. Because of the cultural issues in different contexts, women face different situations. So this is something that would encourage women to make sure that peace reigns in the society. So basically, that is what I would say is my biggest inspiration in taking up mediation roles.
And can you share with us a story where your gender, being a woman, played a role or was impacting the mediation process?
I can relate to the same scenario that I just talked about. Because of being a woman in this mediation regarding the land dispute. So the other party, I think, was connected to a traditional leader's family. So the issues of perceptions that this is a woman and she's handling our case, this is a land dispute, issues of land are rooted in culture and history. Maybe she would not be an ideal person to help us reach an agreement. So there was some like resistance in the process. There was some resistance in the process. Sometimes the party that was complaining would like as talk about some things directly to me as a mediator. So I would realize that okay, this is like he's trying to show me that I cannot manage this case. Yeah. So, but I still had to remain professional in the mediation process.
And I think that's the case for a lot of women who are professionals in many fields, is that need to almost prove yourself worthy to be there. If I can ask you,
Mhm.
what do you
Mhm.
prioritize when you are in a mediation process? Do you prioritize more the outcome of the process of mediation or the actual steps and processes within the mediation itself?
I prioritize more the process because to me, I always say that whether the, for example, whether the conflict parties will reach an agreement or not, but the process to for them to for the outcome is what matters to me most because it's possible that I may drive at um, facilitating the mediation with my own goals. But I believe that the goals of, I mean, the needs of the conflict parties are of utmost importance. So I really feel the process is the key to effective mediation.
And that makes a lot of sense. To that end, what would you describe as a success in a mediation process, or when a mediation process has been successful?
For me, as I've said, that if the process is perfect, that is a successful mediation to me. Whether the outcome is okay, whether the parties reach an agreement or not, if the process, no one complained during the mediation of issues of impartiality, if I was able to um, guide them for them to actually realize what they both need and understand each other in the process, that is a successful mediation for me.
I see. I also, when I was reading your profile that you completed for us, I see that you've been involved in mediation in many levels, as a lead mediator, assistant mediator, and technical support. What in your opinion should the selection criteria for being a leader in mediation be?
When selecting a mediator, there's need to consider um, past experience in mediation for that mediator. Also, if they have knowledge in the conflict, it is also a good thing to consider that. And it also has to be someone who is trustworthy. Yeah, that is what
That
I
make
would say.
that makes a lot of sense. People who have an understanding of the context, I can understand, might come across as more trustworthy. And I remember reading in your article where you said, "Where there is trust, we gain respect." Would you
Mm-hmm.
like to tell us a little bit more about the role of trust and being part of the context in a mediation process?
Yeah, I think that I would say that if you're someone who is trustworthy, the conflict parties will not have a problem um, to get convinced that you assist them in the mediation, and also they will be able to know that their issue is in safe hands. They'll know that you will not be someone who take sides. You will be someone who help them to reach a resolution.
Absolutely. And other than building that trust and respect, are there any other skills that you feel a mediator should have?
Yes, communication skills, that is very paramount for a mediation process. In communication, that includes one to be able to see the nonverbal communication in the during the mediation, also the questioning skills of a mediator um, is something that has to be taken very seriously, and also issues of being empathetic, and the other thing that I also already mentioned, being impartial. Yeah, those are key for me.
Absolutely. And I mean, above the numerous training sessions that you've been through with many different organizations, you also hold two masters and a bachelor's in communication, which, as you said, is an important skill to have as a mediator. Is there any other forms of training or experience that you think are very important for mediators to have?
Yeah, I think that it's very important for mediators to know issues of alternative dispute resolution. It shouldn't just be mediation training, but it should encompass all the alternative dispute resolution trainings, and also communication, as I have already mentioned. Issues of crisis management are very important, and different conflict related trainings.
Absolutely. And as you stated in your profile and earlier in this interview, you've dealt with quite a few different forms of community conflict. You've spoken about family disputes, land disputes. You gave an example. Could you give us a little bit of an example about your chieftaincy related wrangles in 2022?
Yeah, I remember that one. The two communities, they're still having the disputes up to now. The issue is that in Malawi we have the different types of traditional leaders in cities or districts. Sometimes you have leaders that are just chosen within the community. Maybe they came to that community a long time ago, so they are known by the people in that area. So they're chosen to become leaders of for the area. And then there's some chiefs that are called blood traditional leaders. Those are the ones that have been there for years, and historically there's like a lineage of they pass the chieftaincy in their family. I don't know if you understand that.
I do, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So this case was between those leaders to say there's a like um, neighboring villages, I can call them that, or communities. So in this in one area they have both types of leaders. So now I think there was a funeral that took place, and someone died from outside that area, but was someone who belonged to that community, but was living somewhere else. So they said that they wanted to bury the person in the their community. And when everything was done, it's one of the leaders, the ones that were just chosen within the community, was the one who had decided where the person should be buried. So the other side was not happy about that. They said you cannot be making rules in this community because you have just come to this community. You're not like uh, someone who really belongs here. So we're the ones who can suggest where this person should be buried. So the issue was regarding that. So it was a big issue. It's still a big issue up to now. I had a number of sessions with the conflict parties. So unfortunately, I got transferred to another police formation. So, but I had left the case still being mediated upon.
I see. And often in those situations, are the leaders men that you mediate with?
Oh no, no. We also have female traditional leaders. There are a number of them now.
And so it sounds like women are becoming more and more represented in mediation. It sounds like it's the same for the community leaders as well.
Yeah, and most of the times when we are having community awareness programs, we encourage that women should be considered for such roles. And in a number of trainings that I have coordinated, we also encourage the participation of those women leaders in the peace and security initiatives at the different community levels.
And why do you think women can be so effective in these mediation roles?
As I said, we women go through a number of issues, so that makes them to always have hunger for peace, and they are able to because of different situations that they've passed through, they're able to uh, like reflect upon some situations and see the best strategies towards achieving peace and security in their different communities. Women are normally victims, as we all know, they're victims of different conflicts at any, I mean, in a number of ways. Whatever kind of conflict that can happen, as I've indicated that in Malawi, we face the land disputes, religious disputes, the chieftaincy wrangles. By the end of the day, women are affected in one way or another. So they're better placed in mediation processes.
And could you tell us a little bit more about any obstacles or challenges that you might encounter during a mediation process?
Yeah, as I had pointed out in relation to that case that I indicated, so issues of perception, stereotypes, they still exist, and despite women making efforts in mediation, in their mediation roles, we still face resistance from men, even from fellow women who are involved in a conflict. They will still look at you and they're not confident with you being their mediator.
And why do you think that is? I mean, what sorts of biases and stereotypes give this impression that women can't be good mediators?
I feel like over time, because of the cultural backgrounds and also um, the different roles that women had been playing, um, it is something that over time has not changed in the minds of the people. They still feel like the role of a woman, I mean, the role of a woman is still in the kitchen. So it is very difficult, but I still feel that it shouldn't be something that should be a drawback, especially at community level. That's why in most of the programs that we've been developing, we've been trying to make this point very clear, and also we try to engage both the men and women and bring them together when we're talking about um, inclusive peace and security efforts, just for the people to understand that we all have a different roles to play when it comes to peace and security initiatives.
That makes a lot of sense. Could you tell us a little bit more about these trainings that you run?
Yeah, sure. We've done mediation trainings in different districts. Right now, I'm working together with the UNHSS in Malawi on a conflict prevention and border security training where we are involving women in the process as well. We have awareness programs on conflict prevention as well. Yeah.
And is the aim for these women to go into their communities and be able to practice as mediators?
Yes, and in one of the in most of the trainings that we've had with them, we have even encouraged them to set up committees for mediation, and also to invite us whenever they have some mediation some conflicts that they are trying to resolve using mediation, just for us to appreciate how they are doing it at community level.
That's wonderful. It really makes it a sustainable effort. Could you tell us a little bit more about your training and your experiences learning and growing and training as a mediator? You've trained with so many different agencies and institutions.
Yeah, I can say that it's been very effective for me, because every time I learn different approaches to mediation and different approaches on how to manage different conflict situations, and also with a growing trend in different issues at different levels, be it national or global level, I'm able to um, learn different approaches on how to manage such situations. And I've been applying most of the things that I've learned in my practical work. And also able to relate well the situations practically, and using the theory that I gain from the different trainings. Yeah.
And you mentioned there a little bit about the different levels of mediation. And we seem to find that women are most prevalent in track 3 or grassroots level mediation. Why do you think there are so few women in track 1 levels of mediation?
I would say that it's still the issue of being given the chance to participate at that level. Much as we always say in our discussions wherever we meet, like during workshops and trainings, we say that women must not wait to be invited at that level. But you still see that it is still a big challenge for women. They may get there, but they will be used as maybe given the role of being an observer than being there on the like the level where they can make contributions to the mediation processes at that level.
These challenges are quite common for women. In your experiences and the challenges you've had to overcome as a mediator, how do you go about overcoming all of these challenges that you face as a woman mediator?
Yeah, for me, as you also indicated, I have been trying to further gain a experience through, I mean, getting skills, more skills through capacity building, like doing a number of trainings so that I can familiarize myself more. And also um, having some reflection sessions whenever I do a mediation session. So see what did I do right, and maybe where did I not really do well during the mediation, and then be able to improve in the next processes that I'll be indulged in. So I feel like issues of having more trainings and also connecting with other women who have experience at a higher level is something that we should be doing.
Absolutely. That makes a lot of sense. Having said what you've said now, are there any particular experiences of mediation where you perhaps weren't as successful as you would have liked, and you thought about how you could improve in future mediation?
Of course, there've been a number of cases where I could say that, as I said, that I have my own reflection sessions. So there are a number of situations. I cannot remember all the cases how I did it, but mostly in issues of family disputes. Yeah. So I've had a number of such I've done a number of like, okay, sorry. May you ask me again what you were.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just really interested if there's any particular case that you went through and it was quite challenging, and in your self-reflection you thought, next time I'm going
Okay.
to do this differently.
Okay, yeah. As I said, so as I said that there are a number of cases that I have mediated upon. So there are a number of times when I've sat down to say, okay, maybe I could have done this better, or maybe I could have done this in this way to help them to get their needs, like both of them to both sides to achieve to come to an agreement. Yeah, but I cannot specifically point out a particular one.
No problem. You have done so many cases, over 50 cases. We're nearly near the end. My last question
Mhm.
to you really is there any particular case that was truly memorable or successful or important to you that you would like to share with us?
Yeah, I will still use the same one, the land dispute, because I faced resistance in it, but by the end of the day, the conflict parties reached an agreement, and they were very satisfied. So I felt very happy to say that I faced a challenge, but by the end of the day, they appreciated my role in the mediation process.
And that must be so rewarding and so fulfilling to be able to resolve a conflict like that.
Mm. Yeah.
Is there any final thoughts that you would like to share with us before we end the interview?
What I would say is that I just want to encourage the women who are are playing some roles in conflict. In peace and security initiatives. The challenges that we face should not make us to draw back, but should encourage us to um, engage extra gears, because women are doing a great job out there, even though our success stories are normally not recorded, but that should not make us to draw back.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much, Nolliettie.